Hi, everybody. I don't know what's going on. Apparently, I'm live. Um, it just actually reset my browser, so I see one person watching. If you're out there, say hello. If I'm actually live, I'm gonna actually check on my computer because it's saying that I'm live, but I don't know if that's true. The technology today, I don't know what's going on. Everything seems slow right now. Everything seems slow right now. No one is seeing. Oh, people are seeing me. So maybe you're out there watching. Okay, so hopefully you're seeing this. Let me check YouTube. I don't see anyone else tuning in. So that has me a little bit concerned. If you're out there, Suzanne is out there. Hello. I don't know if anyone else is seeing this or not. It's saying I'm live on YouTube too. So hopefully some people filter in. So many of you may have seen our little Barnaby has been coughing a lot over the past few days, and we were hoping it was just the weather, and we're still hoping it's just the weather. Whenever the weather changes, it really affects him. We think, we had him in for tests a while ago, and he had some type of black spot in his lungs, and they thought it was a growth. But the only thing we could do for that was take him about an hour and a half or so away by car to have it biopsied. And if it was cancer, there was a chance that the biopsy could break and it could spread. So we didn't want to put him through that. And so he's been going for now about a year and a half. And he coughs once in a while, but usually it's when temperature changes or if there's something, like people have smoke coming out of their chimneys and things like that. So we hope that's all it is. But we canceled our trip to New York because we didn't want to take the chance of it being something worse and having him, having a house sitter have to deal with vet trips or anything like that. And it's not like we would be close to getting home at any point. So we canceled our trip, which is kind of sad. But, we're going to do what we can for our fur babies, and that's what's most important to us. So, while the trip would have been fun, it wasn't a necessity for us. Andrew is in the show, in the shows in New York, but and it would have been nice for him to be able to see those and see his work, because it seems like every time he gets into a show, everything, he doesn't get to actually go to the show. That happened to another one in Tennessee. We were coming back and it started snowing so bad. I think it was snowing or raining so bad that we couldn't see. I think it was rain. We couldn't see in front of the car. So we ended up not heading to Tennessee. We came right back home. So it seems like every time he has a trip or has an exhibit that his piece is in somewhere in the country, we can't get to it. But we would do anything for our little fur babies. So Barnaby is doing okay, and he seems to be fine. There was a show on TV with vets talking and stuff, and this one cat had a dark spot in their lungs, and it ended up being asthma, and that's how it was showing up. And so we're hoping that's what it is, and it's not a growth. But we're still taking good care of him. He's on, he gets additional supplements sometimes and vitamins and some things to try and fight that. And he, so his coughing is mostly under control, but it got to the point that both Andrew, like I'm always anxious. Like I hear him coughing a little bit longer than, what he would normally do, or more often than he normally has. And I start freaking out, and I was trying to stay calm. And the fact that Andrew also mentioned it and that he was concerned was like, okay, this is something that we probably shouldn't leave right now. And like I said, it very much could be the weather change because it has changed quickly. And those weather changes, I had friends also saying like they have asthma themselves or COPD, and the weather changes affect them. and their animals sometimes. And so I hope that's all that it is. But again, that's why we're here. That's why we're not in New York. So that means the store will be open tomorrow. I will be there. And so if you're local, I will be open in there for you. We are not going to New York. And so I'm going to show you, Andrew was able to finish up a bunch of these All My Little Word paintings. I got some of them into the online store. If you are on our text message list, you should have gotten that notification today that they're available. We also sent out an email. We also made a blog post. We also posted them on Facebook and Instagram. So hopefully you saw and grab some for yourself if you'd like. They are, I think they're extremely nice. They're extremely well priced, I will say that. The amount of work, like Andrew made it sound like to finish them, it was just going to be a quick here, there, and they'll all be finished. He's putting a lot more work into them than what it sounded like. So they are $25 a piece, and they are really beautiful. And I think, like, we chose some of our favorite words. We chose words that we felt would empower people or that people could reflect upon. And these words, you know, there's something to kind of have with you and to meditate on and, you know, kind of just think about. And I think it's really good once in a while to do just that, to, you know, think about the things we have and think about gratitude. And like a lot of these, you'll see them. If you haven't checked them out in the online store already, they are there. Like I said, you can grab them right now. About half of the ones that we posted already are sold out. So thank you out there to all of you who are purchasing them. These were originally intended to fund our New York trip. Because we had to cancel at the last minute, we did not get a refund in our Airbnb. So that's a good chunk of money for us that we've spent that we're going to miss out on. So instead of funding our trip, these are going to refund, hopefully, the Airbnb that we paid into. And also they are, you know, for future things. We are planning a brand new collection of jewelry and jewelry components for the Handmade Arcade in Pittsburgh on December 2nd and 3rd. So any money above and beyond what refunds our Airbnb, should we even make that back up, it was a good bit, everybody. New York City Airbnbs are not inexpensive. But any money will go towards supplies and creating that new line so that we can debut it at the Handmade Arcade in Pittsburgh. We will also, anything that doesn't sell at the Handmade Arcade, will go into the online store, or possibly if we make enough, we'll add stuff to the online store anyway. But I think you're going to love it. It's going to be based a lot on these in this style that Andrew did. If you didn't see these, Andrew showed these, I think, during our Fort Ligonier Days challenge. We challenge each other to see who can do better, whether Andrew does better in online or if I do better in the store. And so I won this year again, but it's hard to beat in store when you have 150,000 people in town, right? But he showed these, and this is going to be what the new collection is based on, things like this. So if you like those, we are planning to create a whole collection based on that kind of style and idea. So we're going to be working on those. And since we're not going to New York, we're going to be taking the extra time to put the energy into those. So I think, you know, even though it's sad to miss the New York trip, it is going to give us more time to work on those projects. It's going to give us more time to spend with Barnaby and Gilbert. And Barnaby seems good today. He's coughed a little bit, but it's kind of his normal, you know, when he coughs. Just the other day, it was a little bit scary because he was, usually when he coughs to the point where you can hear like a phlegm. I'm getting into this too much, but, and he kind of coughs it and it coughs up and you can hear it kind of whatever dislodging and kind of getting out of his way. That's why I think it's an asthma type thing, or some kind of lung thing instead of a growth, because it does seem like stuff gets caught and he gets it out. Yesterday he could not. He kept coughing and coughing and coughing and coughing and coughing, and it was not helping. So we had to give him a shot of his steroid, and that's really what kind of did it. We were like, if we weren't here trying to get the house sitter to give him shots of steroids, and if something worse were to happen, we didn't want to go through that. So that's why we're here. That's why we're here today. We're going to be doing lives the rest of the week. Yeah, so we're not going to New York. These paintings that we were creating for the New York trip are now going to be reimbursing us for the Airbnb that we already purchased, but of course can't refund at the last moment. And we hope that our friends who are going are able to find somebody to use that room that we were going to have. Hopefully somebody in need will be able to use that and it won't go to waste. But yeah, and then they're going to fund the next creation of the next line of the Allegory Gallery components and jewelry for Handmade Arcade in December 2nd and 3rd. So how are you all doing? I'm going to read some comments now. Suzanne is here. Teresa is joining in. Hello, Norma. Bonnie says cats are not well. Just Barnaby. He's having a little bit of a hard time, but we think he's going to be okay. But we wanted to be here just in case he needed any vet visits or anything like that. Hello, Marianne. Healthy vibes for Barnaby. Thank you. Hello, Lorraine. Robin says the things we do for our fur babies. So sorry about your trip. Thank you. Yeah. You know, it was going to be a hard trip anyway because this is a harder time of year. You know, summer and fall are easier. Once we get into the colder seasons, it's a little bit harder to get away. It's a little bit harder to justify being away when we're trying to make money to sit up, you know, for the rest of the winter. So all in all, like I said, it is a shame we can't see Andrew's pieces. But we were going to be manning a booth, which I hope they've been able to find somebody to do, and kind of just man the show a little bit. And we weren't going to really probably have a lot of time anyway. So maybe in the spring or something, we'll save some money and just go on a trip ourselves, and which we never do. So I doubt it'll actually happen. But unless it's a work trip, it's rarely a trip at all. But maybe we'll find a way to get there and, you know, all that. Marianne says, oh, sorry, you guys won't be going to New York, but you would be worrying about Barnaby and it wouldn't be as much fun. It's true. I would have been crazy. It was to the point where I was still trying to, you know, not make my anxiety crazy on other people and not bring it up to Andrew too much. But I was this close to buying cameras that we can make sure that we have in the house, in the rooms that he normally goes in and out of a lot, so that I could just tune in anytime and check on him. But, you know, that's, I was glad when he brought it up too, and then we could make that decision together. Let's see here. Hello, Donna. Thank you for the healing vibes. Marion says it's gotten quite windy today. It's not too windy here. I'm sorry to hear it's gotten windy there because it's probably cold there too. It got up to about, I think, 30 some degrees here today. Was not very warm at all. I think 36 was the high or something like that. But at least we're not snowing and raining today. So that's a good thing, right? Bonnie says, my husband and I are home from the hospital and he is doing well. He has to wear a monitor and take meds, but I see no damage from the mini stroke. That's awesome. That's awesome. I don't know if mini strokes are the same as other strokes, but something that we were not told when my grandfather had a stroke is that after the first one, sometimes a few days later, there can be another one. And I'm sure, I don't know how long you were actually in the hospital with him or if they told you that, but just, I would highly recommend just keeping an eye on one another for a few days at least. My grandfather came back and was doing much, much better. And he had lost some of his speaking ability on one side, but he was starting to get better and he got hit with another one. And he never recovered from that. So I don't want to see that happen to anyone else because we were not warned at all that oftentimes another stroke can happen shortly after the first one. So I wish we would have known, because he was up by himself and he fell on the floor, and he had to try to make noise for somebody to see him because he got up very early. So I always do, anytime I hear that, I let people know to just take care of one another and keep an eye on one another. Let's see here. What else is going on? Andrew says, William is doing a good job of downplaying it. We are very disappointed, and we are very concerned about Barnaby. We are doing our best, but it is what it is. Yeah. I don't want to get into it, because if I get into it too much and start worrying too much, that worry, consumes me. So I can't do that. It's 21 out there now for Marianne. 21 degrees. Yeah, it's about 30 here, I think, right now. 32 when I was out. I just went out for some groceries. I think I'm going to make a fake beef stroganoff tonight. I'm going to try. I looked up some recipes for beef stroganoff, and I'm going to combine some and see what happens. Andrew is completely worn out. I think he's been working on more of these paintings. He's been up a lot in the night. He's been sad that he can't go to New York. He's been worried about Barnaby. My thing when I get very worried oftentimes is I sleep. And that's a comfort. I'm at least able to do that. Andrew is not the same way necessarily when things get into his head, but I knock myself out and try to get some sleep, and just, as much as I can. So that's what I did. And I cuddled with Barnaby last night, and we slept and just kind of tried to rest. Susan sending good vibes for Barnaby. Thank you. Diane said, so sorry about your fur baby. You made the right choice. Worry is not good. Prayers surround you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's see. Donna says it's going to be in the high 20s for the lows the next couple of nights. Yeah, it's getting cold. Bonnie says, oh, thank you, William. I will keep monitoring him. Yeah, please do. It's something that I don't think it would have helped my grandfather with what happened necessarily. He was found pretty quickly, but it's just one of those things that they don't always tell you. And we found out afterwards, they're like, somebody should have told you this, to watch out for a possible second stroke. But we're very glad that he's home, and I'm glad he's doing well, and I do hope he continues to do well. Let's see here. Debbie says, it's been snowing all day here in Cincinnati. Nice. Kind of nice, maybe. I don't know. I drove up to Johnstown in the snow yesterday. I think that was yesterday. It's a blur. Everything is a blur right now. And it was snowing, and it was kind of beautiful. I don't necessarily like driving in it all the time, but I was stopped at one point at a red light, and there were no cars around me. I was the only car on the road at that point. There were some wild drivers because they weren't used to it. They didn't put their winter tires on yet. But I was stopped, and the snow was just falling, and it was that because there was already snow on the ground. If you're around snow, you know how the snow can muffle sounds oftentimes when it's snowing heavily and it's on the ground. You hear that kind of muffled sound. That's what it was like. So I was sitting at the red light, and I was listening to my music, and I turned it down, and it was just like this quiet kind of cityscape with the snow and a muffled kind of sound going on. It was really actually peaceful. So it was actually really nice, but it was a little bit worrisome that people were getting crazy. People were fishtailing in front of me, just pulling off from a red light or something, or a stop sign, and they gas it. And I'm like, you can't do that. It's icy right now. Debbie says, I'm more like Andrew. I go days without resting. Yeah, if I get myself to the point where I can't rest, then I'm nearing a panic attack, and that's not a good thing. So when I'm depressed or when I'm stressed, a lot of times I default to sleeping, because generally, things will process overnight, or, there'll be a different outlook. And I feel guilty sometimes. When Babette and Paolo were both sick, I would sleep, and I feel guilty for being able to sleep sometimes, but it's the only way I can stay out of a panic attack sometimes is to just rest. Suzanne says, damp, rainy, and chilly here. It's not too bad here. I'm sorry that it's damp and rainy there. It's actually pretty clear here today. There was a little bit of snow flitting around in the sky, but pretty clear and pretty cold. Andrew says, I like to be useful. Stress makes me try to do what I can to help make things better, even if only a little, or to make things even kill. Yeah, Andrew goes into like overdrive, but sometimes you wear yourself out a little bit. But I know that's your way. But I try to make sure you don't wear yourself out too much. Bonnie says, I've had panic attacks and they are horrible. No fun at all. They are horrible. I've only had a few like big panic attacks. One time I like fell to the floor hyperventilating and just could not breathe. Now that I've been on, the medication and I try to monitor it, I'm off of alcohol mostly, I'm off of caffeine. It has helped a lot. I don't go into a panic attack as much, but when they first started happening, I had no idea what was happening and like why are my emotions like making me not be able to breathe. But it's true. They are horrible. Okay, well, I don't want to take too much of your time today because I know you probably all weren't even expecting us to be here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, even though some of these are sold, I'm going to show you the ones that we already have in the online store, and then I'm going to give you a sneak peek of ones that aren't in the online store yet. And I don't know if I'll be able to add any more. I don't know if y'all know, but the picture taking process on these is not easy. It's easy when it's easy. I will say that. And so I got up today, and when the sun was out, the little bit that it was still cloudy, but at least there was light coming through the windows. And that natural light, whether it's cloudy or sunny, helps a lot to get true color when you're taking pictures of things like this. And so after this batch, I grabbed these before the live here while there was still a little bit of light coming in the windows. And after this batch, I may have to wait until tomorrow to put up another batch because getting the light right, we used a light box yesterday, last night, and that's the reason none of these got up last night. I know Andrew was promising them, but that was my fault more than anything because I was playing around with the light box and trying to get the right light, using different lights and different, techniques and it was just not working. When I went to edit the photos, sometimes you get a good picture and you have to edit the color. And no matter what kind of editing I did, because so many of these, like this one, they have so many different colors in them. You might get one color right, but it might blow out another, or it might soften another too much. So there was no getting the right light and the right color last night. So I took these during the day, much better. I didn't even have to edit them really that much, which was amazing. Normally I try to edit to make sure the colors are correct, but they were coming out pretty nice. The next batch I have to take a look at a little bit just because the light was a little bit darker. But it is challenging to try to get color right on paintings like these. So I try to do the best thing I can, the best job I can. And on the description of each of these, I do say that depending on your monitor or your screen, you may see the colors differently once you get it in real life. I will say that I edit everything on Apple stuff. So if you look on it on an iPhone, one of the newer iPhones with the nicer displays, if you're looking at it on one of the very new MacBook Pros, the 14-inch, they have the high-end screens that are much better for color collaboration. Not collaboration. I can't think of the word anymore. But for color grading and the look of the color. So the monitor does help. If you have the same one, you'll see what I see. If you have anything else, You will not see them the same way I see them. So they may look different when you get them. And even, you know, there's only so much we can do with the phone cameras too that we use. So mostly though, the ones I was seeing, they look very, very similar to me. And again, that's all going to be my eyes versus yours and all that too. But we do our best job to try to put the colors right. And if I can't get the right color, I will wait until tomorrow to do the rest. So Marianne says he did say come hell or high water they were going to be debuted. He debuted them. He had them ready. I just could not justify, I couldn't justify showing the wrong colors. It's just very important to me because I hate it when I pick something out online and it gets to me and it's like, this is completely not the color I was thinking it was. And that's happened before. So it makes me a little bit crazy if I don't make them match as best as I can. So we won't do that to you. So we'll see. It might just be that this location where I'm taking the photos here at home at my desk with the different lights that I have around gives a better look. So if that's true, I will continue adding tonight. But otherwise, we'll be adding more tomorrow. All right. But I do have some already taken that aren't on there yet. And we're going to take a sneak peek of those two today. Okay. So I'm going to ask you, please do hit the share button. We've been getting fewer and fewer shares on our videos lately. So if you are on the Allegory Gallery page, or if you are on YouTube, I hope you'll share. If you're in the TGBE group, I know you can't share out of that group, but if you pop on over to the Allegory Gallery page, we hope you're following our page anyway, too, right? Andrew did start the Great Beat Extravaganza with Sarah of Softlex. So if you're in that group and you're thankful for that group, please do consider sharing or following us at Allegory Gallery and sharing our stuff. All right. You never know what kind of new things we're going to get into, right? The Great Beat Extravaganza was a pretty good idea, I think. So we thank you for that. And now that I've said that part, let me go ahead and flip the camera around and we're going to take a look at these other things. And sorry, I'm looking really like worn out. So sorry about that. But that's the way things are right now. I was like, oh, I thought I was looking okay today. And then I look at myself and I'm like, whoo, not so okay today. Okay, so these paintings are approximately 3 by 3, and they are all the same size. They will come with magnets. So I don't have the magnets here. I think I took them to the cottage already to get them ready to ship. But they will come with 1 or 2 magnets that will affix to the back. They're sticky. They have a 3M stickiness sticker or whatever, 3M double-sided tape or something on them. So you can use these if you want to apply the magnet, because when we asked this on the live the other day, most people wanted the magnets, but some did not. So we are not affixing them already. We're going to send them with the items. If you don't want the magnet and you don't want to waste, that, just put in your notes of the order, say no magnet or don't need the magnet or something like that, and we'll keep it. But we're going to send them along in case you want to add that magnet and make it like a refrigerator artwork, or if you have a some people have vision boards, or they use whiteboards that are magnetic, if you want to stick them to that or just hang them somewhere else, right? We're going to include that. So yeah, if you don't want the magnet, just tell us in the notes that you don't need it. But otherwise, you'll get 1 or 2. I think it's just going to be 1. I think 1 is going to be plenty. We're going to test it and make sure, but I think 1 is going to be plenty to hold on to these, because they are very light. They're less than an ounce. So I think they're 0.6 ounces. So just a little over ½ an ounce. So I think the magnet's going to be fine. All right. So this is kindness, right? We have kindness here. This is one that is in the online store. Some of these that I'm going to show you at first have been sold. So I can't guarantee that all of these are available, and they're probably also selling as we talk, hopefully, I hope. But so I'm not going to be able to keep up with that. So I'm just going to show them all to you. And if you see something you like, you can check it online. Then when we move into the next batch, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give us a break, and I'm going to let you know that these are going to be coming up. So if you want to make notes on the ones you want to grab, I will have these up and in the online store in just a few moments, because I already have the pictures. I just have to quickly edit them if needed. And get them into the online store. So within about 30 minutes or so of the end of this broadcast, I should have that batch in the online store for you to grab. So you can go ahead and take down notes of what your favorite ones are. And I am putting each word, like kindness, in the title. So you can search the online store. So for example, if you wanted to buy kindness, if this were one that were coming up later, or even now, you can go into the online store and type in kindness, and that should pop right up for you. All right. So you can search by the word that's on them. I wanted to make sure that you could do that. So yeah, Andrew says, I would recommend 3M. Knockoff brands are less ideal. He's talking about Velcro. 3M Velcro is good if you want to put them in a shadow box. Yeah, Velcro will hold on. We have bought some kind of store brand Velcro from a particular store that I'm not going to mention. And we made shadow boxes with that Velcro and artwork, and they all have fallen. You would think Velcro, not to hold something this light, which is pretty much what those were. You still need the good Velcro. So take the money, buy the better Velcro, and then that way they won't fall off your shadow box as easily anyway. Suzanne shared, thank you so much. Marianne shared, thank you so much. Andrew's going to name it Dollar General. Yes, we bought Dollar General Velcro, and it did not hold up. Not one bit. Not one bit. Marianne says, I have a metal decorative board. I will add mine too. Nice. Nice. So that's kindness. Next one up is inspire. Inspire. And again, some of these may be taken, already purchased, but I'm going to show them all to you anyway. Bonnie shared too. Thank you so much. The next one is clarity. And I really love, I wish I don't have one of the unfinished ones here. I should have grabbed one from Andrew. Maybe he can run one up. He's probably busy. See the difference. There is a difference between what these look like. Andrew is doing a lot more work than I thought he was going to do to finish these off. So there is a big difference. If you watch the other video, these are more cohesive in their color, in the way that it's done. They're more balanced, I would say. I think it's a better overall look. He's really working hard on these. Hello, June. Thanks for tuning in. This is Insight. Rejoice. I like this one a lot. I love the colors, like right up in here and over in here. These dark, beautiful, almost metallic, like blues and purples. Next one is Eternal. I love this one too. There's still a lot of that kind of salt technique in this one. Some of them have gotten more kind of blended, but there's still more of that salt technique on this one that you can see, which I kind of like on this particular one anyway. So again, these are all kind of, we believe in the power of words. I think that's how we started the descriptions for these. I love this one. It's like all the colors. You did great on that. We believe in the power of words and, what they can mean and how they can be used. I am definitely, I studied 4 different languages in college. So I love words. I like words from all cultures. I love learning about the history of words. And I do believe in the power of words. That's why we try so hard to make sure that we get your names right, even though we have failed at points. But I do believe, in the power of words and what they mean and just the sounds they make, right? And how the sounds of words can have power too. Andrew says, if they look opalescent or metallic, it's all color. I tried not to use metallics or iridescent paints and pigments. Yeah, there's no metallics, but some of them look almost like it. Enchant is the next one. Again, some of these are still available. Some of these are sold out. When I started this video, about half of them of this batch were sold out already. But I love this enchant with that kind of white kind of behind it. I don't know. It looks like it's coming through the dark. It's going to enchant you, right? It's coming for you. I like that a lot. I don't know. I'm sure Andrew thinks of these things as he's putting colors and changing some of these. And, you know, because he believes each word has power too. And so I'm sure that goes into some of his creation. And I know he's not trying to take too much time on each one, but I'm sure that some of the word affects how it's done in the end. He would be here talking, he's chatting, he would be here talking more, but he is he's working hard. Marion says focus is the one you bought. The focus, nice, thank you. Wise is another one. Some of these have little clouds. I love the little clouds behind some of these. He didn't do too many with clouds, and I think most of the clouds, well, at least half of the cloud ones have sold, I believe. But there's still more. There's still more out there, at least as far up until when I started this. I think Wisdom was sold, I think, but I could be wrong. I may be mixing them up. But this one, look how pretty that one is. That one is gorgeous. Look at the colors on that. Beautiful colors. This one is sold out. Wisdom is sold out. Safe is the next one, and this one is not sold out, surprisingly. I thought this would be one of the first, but this one is still available. I just pulled it up on my computer now so I can tell you. Lena says Wisdom was sold. I think Lena's grabbed Wisdom. Thank you. So Safe is still available. You know, we're very proud to make Allegory Gallery and have Allegory Gallery as a safe space. So I really like that. That's important to us. Compassion. I think this one has sold. I'm still going to show you all though. Still going to show you. It's a pretty one. Like I said, I tried to get the colors in the descriptions or in the that one almost as I move it, it looks like the words stay kind of in one spot, which is really weird. So each one of these is $25. The reason we made them that way is Bonnie says someday I hope to have an Andrew painting, but I'm tapped out for now. We get it. We get it. But we try to make these as you know, there's a lot of work in this, starting from the beginning all the way to this point. Like these are sanded, like the colors added in a very specific way that Andrew does it. They're sanded down. They're aligned in the laser. Like it's not easy to get these in the laser and get them right. You know, everyone thinks a laser is so, you know, precise, and it is to a point, but you have to hand center these and get them right. So we work on that up until Andrew doing the finishing that he does on these, and the sealing. They're hand sealed. So there's a lot of work. We price them at $25 because we think that's, you know, most people, especially around the holiday time, that should be in the budget for most people. And it doesn't, you know, that doesn't count all the work that we put into it, but at this point, we want to get them out into the world. We want people to be able to afford them. It's kind of like a little holiday bonus from us. And hopefully you all can grab some if you want them. We also price them like that because we talked about this a little bit too, Secret Santas. If you have a Secret Santa at your job, you know, one of those kind of, or just like a, you know, a gift giving to coworkers, anything like that, a lot of times they'll be in the $20 to $30 range. And that's hard sometimes to find something nice in that range. But a piece of artwork that's been done by somebody, handmade, that you can use as, put in a shadow box, you can frame it, or it'll come with a magnet, so you can add a magnet to it if you want to. You ever look at a word so long that it doesn't look right? That doesn't look right to me, but I think that's, I think that's right. But it's not, it doesn't look right. I looked at it too long. And courage. This is the last one, and I think this one is sold out as well. Andrew says, I try to work on these like a meditation. I focus on what the word I focus on the word and do what the word tells me. Yeah, he doesn't like it. I've been interrupting him quite a bit asking questions, and it's not been easy for him. Andrew says, I'd like to get a group shot. Well, I'm lining them up here today to get somewhat of a group shot. There it goes, like that. So I'll have them on here. You can get a group shot. Facebook user, I don't know who you are out there, says, I love word inspirations. Thank you. We do too. Okay, now for the ones that are not in the online store, but they will be in about 30 minutes after this video ends. So let's take a look, and you can write down the words if you would like to keep track of them, to go ahead and grab afterwards. Now, I will say there are going to be around 100 of these. So we've done 18 so far. So more to come, everybody, more to come. Again, Andrew is, as he said, he meditates on each one as he finishes it. Sometimes they take a little bit longer than we think they're going to take. So more to come after these. All right. Bonnie says they would be cool all together in one big piece as well. Yeah, right? Sometimes I wish we could do stuff like that, but we have to make money. Someday when we're rich and famous, we can make artwork, or Andrew can make artwork, and we can keep it. And we can keep it and hang it in the store on the wall or something like that. There's Barnaby. Barnaby came up to sit with me a little bit. That's my buddy. You need a little bit of sitting time? Come on, bud. You can sit with me. You can sit with me. Okay? There's my buddy. That's my boy. Yeah. All right. So let's see here. Bonnie says that would be hard to ship, though. Yeah, if we shipped it, or we just keep it and put it up in the store. I would love to have all of these as like a mural in the store on the wall. I think that would be so cool. Okay, one that is not in the online store, but will be after this video, about 30 minutes after this video, is Imagine. Imagine. Cinnamon says hello to you, Barnaby, says Suzanne. Barnaby's going to say hi back, right? Right? Yeah. Okay. All right, so this is Imagine. Hello, Cindy. Thanks for tuning in. This will be in the online store again following this video, about a half hour after this video ends. Glory is the next. Glory is the next. I love this one. I love the colors. I like when you get lots of colors. Like these have lots of colors in them. Some of them are more monotone or two-tone. I tend to like these ones. Of course, I like green, so the green is nice. Barnaby's kicking the stand here a little bit, sitting on my lap. My buddy, you feeling better? Huh? You feeling better, bud? I hope so. All right. Journey is the next one. Aren't we all on a journey, right? Aren't we all on a journey? What a great message to meditate over. What a great word to meditate over. Andrew says, I also try to make a series around the holidays every year that is affordable so folks can grab my artwork. Otherwise, sometimes my artwork is out of reach for people, and I know what that is like. I know what it is like when that's not possible. So we always try to make something more accessible. Yeah, especially around the holiday time. Journey. Great word to meditate on, I think. To think about your journey. Fancy. Who's fancy? I like to be fancy sometimes, although I'm not very fancy anymore. Oh, that was you on Facebook, Cindy. Okay. Wasn't sure who that was. Barnaby's giving me little kisses. Little kisses. That's my buddy. fancy. Next up, couldn't leave out love, right? Couldn't leave out love. Love will be coming up. About 30 minutes after this video ends, I'll have these newest ones in the online store. They will all be the same price. They're all the $25. They will all come with a magnet if you'd like. If you don't need the magnet, you can just let us know in your notes on your order not to send the magnet. Bonnie says, William, you should dress up fancy for Christmas online live. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. I don't get too fancy anymore. Mostly because I can't fit in my fancy clothes. So that's a difficult thing, right? Explore. Explore. I kind of like, it almost looks like it's a cave, and you're exploring a cave, which I kind of really like. We went to the caves a few months ago, and I think Andrew shared some photos. I don't think I shared any photos or talked about it, but we went to a nearby cave, and we walked through the cave, and that was really cool. Literally and figuratively cool. It's cold down there. Probably warm down there now. I think it stays around 60 something like that. In the summer, it was nice. In the winter, it'd probably be nice too. Warmer than outside. Worthy is the next one. We're all worthy of great things, right? You have to tell yourself that. You have to believe that. And I think this will be a great one for somebody to be able to meditate on and remind themselves, right? Sometimes we all need a reminder that we're worthy. Marianne was thinking explore the universe on that one. Yeah, it does kind of, it could be that too. Could be that too. Your mind universe, that too, right? Susan just ordered Enchant. Now I want Explore too. Nice, thank you, Susan. Explore will be up in about 30 minutes after this video. And if you have ordered one, as most of you who watch these know, we will combine shipping on these as much as we can. So if you know you're not getting any more, if you have ordered, you can make a note on your order if you're ordering from here, from this point on, and you know you only want one or whatever your order has in it, you can say it's okay to ship. But if you think you may be ordering more, we can hold them until the entire series has been finished. This is wonder. Wonder, one of my favorite words. I like that word a lot. I also like wonder. Wonder and wonder. Is it important to keep your wonder as we age and get older and turn into adults? And it's good to keep your wonder alive. Brave is the next one. If you need to meditate on that word or know somebody who might, that might be a good gift. Brave. Cherish is the next one. Cherish. This will be going into the online store very shortly after this video. It should have them within about 30 minutes or so. And again, if you like one, like Susan said, I want to explore, you can search the online store by explore, and you can keep hitting that refresh on that search, and when it pops up, you know it's now available, because you will be able to search by the word itself. Bloom. I think this is a very important, anybody can bloom at any point, right? Sometimes we get, we imagine this is something that only kids or teens do. They bloom into, young adults or into their own. But anybody at any age, which is what I'm trying to tell myself and remind myself, you don't have to stop doing things. You don't have to not do things. You can turn into anything you want at any time, right? Give yourself the chance. And the last one that I have now is called Always. Always. Which I think this is like the perfect color and background for that word. I don't know why. It just looks like that matches so well. It looks like a galaxy almost, or a skyscape over mountains. It just looks like a good word, a good background for always to me. And as we do these, you know, sometimes as I'm doing them on the laser, I was doing that part of it. I do try to pick some colors that, you know, go with the word, or that I feel like go with the word, right? Doesn't always happen, can't always do it, but here's a semi-overview of most of them. See if I can go up higher a little bit. There we go. How about that? Aren't those cool? I like to see them all together. Love to see them all together. So there they are. I'm going to flip the camera around here real quick. Hi, everybody. Am I in the camera? I can't tell yet. Let's go a little bit higher. So I know this was a little bit of a short one. You know, when you say an hour is short, that's crazy, right? Or just less than an hour. But I hope you enjoyed that. And I hope you're enjoying these. Again, because we're not in New York, you know, the idea behind these was that we were selling them to do our New York trip. So I would just want to make that very clear. We are not doing the New York trip anymore. We decided to stay home and make sure Barnaby was okay. So, you know, we don't ever want to sell anything under any false pretense. So it's very important. I want to be clear about that. These are not for the New York trip. They are going to reimburse some of the things we cannot get back that we already paid for the New York trip, like our Airbnb. So they will go to that. And then any extra money, of course, right now, any of it is going to create the new line of jewelry that we're going to have for Handmade Arcade in Pittsburgh. So, yeah, we're going to have lots of new stuff, and I think you're all going to love it. You know, I, of course, want to sell out at Handmade Arcade. That would be amazing. But I also want to try and make sure we have stuff for you all, too. Some of us are biggest supporters here on the live. So we'll see what we can do with all of that. But I do hope that you enjoy these. I hope they will make great gifts either for yourselves or for loved ones. And we will be adding more. We did 16 of them in the online store so far. I have another 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 of them or so to put online here in the next 30 minutes here. I'm going to try and get them up. And then after that, we have up to like 100 and some. So they're going to keep coming out. We're going to keep adding them to the online store. We were going to wait and do one big release, but I think doing it this way doesn't overwhelm people, hopefully. Hopefully you can grab the ones you love and you won't get overwhelmed with too many to look through and sift through and decide. So yeah, thank you all so much. Again, if you do order more than one in separate orders, we will combine them as best as we can. All right. So thank you again. I'm going to go finish up these next 12 or so and get them online. And then I'm going to go make my very first fake beef stroganoff, and we'll see how that goes. But it sounded really good today. Sounded really good. All right. So thank you all so very much. Oh, I just see Kathleen just arrived late to the party. Harry's just tuning in. Sherry is here with us. So thank you for tuning in, but we're going to end it now. I know it's short. Only 53 minutes. So anyway, thank you. Have a great evening. And thank you for all of your love and all of your support and all of your prayers for Mr. Barnaby. Like I said, he seems to be doing okay. He's sitting on my lap right now. He's not having any troubles breathing, knock on wood, or whatever fake wood I have. And we thank you all so much for your support and hope that all is going well for you. All right. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and stay tuned for more of these. We'll be posting about them on our social media. I don't think I'm going to send out any more text messages or emails about these. Maybe once the full set is up, I'll send out one more announcement, but probably won't until then. I don't want to overdo it and inundate you with these things. But so just stay tuned. All right. Talk to you later. Bye, everybody.